This little cartoon about political correctness speaks volumes as to where our country is headed these days. My name is Tim Wallace, and I'll be speaking on political correctness in America. In recent years, have you changed the way that you speak or even think? Whether we realize it or not, most of us have. And the reason is that the government and the media remind us on a daily basis that words and phrases can hurt people's feelings and that no one should have to be offended. Political correctness it's infiltrated America and has no plans of leaving. Every day it seems as though there's some new word or thought that's unacceptable anymore. Even the way some people live can be seen as offensive to someone else, and therefore it's put into question. Now, is all this push to make everybody feel good about themselves and everything that they do completely wrong? Well, I think not, but I guess it's all in the way that you look at it. Now, where did all this political correctness start? Eh, no one knows for sure. Some say that political correctness started over 100 years ago. And others believe that it was back in the 60s, while others still, they think it was back in the 80s. If I had to guess, I'd say it was before the 80s, but it sure picked up a lot of momentum in the 80s. And when it started, or exactly where it started, is not really important. What is important is that once it began, it started growing quickly, and now nothing is off limits. Now, unfortunately, we've gotten so afraid of offending some people that in 2007 in Australia, Santa Claus were made to change their traditional ho 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 to a ha ha ha. And the reason was that the ho 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 could frighten children, and even worse, it seemed derogatory toward women. Now, luckily, the public pushed back in this case, and Santa was eventually allowed to go back to the traditional ho ho ho. Now, don't even get me started about all the uproar over Christmas in the past 5 to 10 years. Not even so say Merry Christmas, it's Happy Holidays. We have a holiday tree, not a Christmas tree, because we might offend someone. Now, here in the U.S., there was a California school that sent 5 students home from school for wearing American flag t-shirts to school on Cinco de Mayo. Now, Mexican American students might have gotten offended by seeing the American flag on a Mexican holiday. Now, why should we be not allowed to wear the American flag in America? I don't care what holiday it is. Americans should be able to celebrate their flag any day they wish. Now, I don't think there's any intent to offend the Mexican American students there, and they should be allowed to celebrate their holiday. But let's face it, it's a Mexican holiday, not an American holiday. I could go on and on with story after story of ridiculous sounding events like these. School children who can't even pretend to have a gun anymore, just point their finger at somebody and say it's a gun. They could be sent home from school. There are even books in our libraries that have been taken off the shelf because there's certain content in it that might offend some people. I mean, some real classics. And it seems as though we don't even want to offend America's enemies anymore. Because let's face it, the very people that wish to end our way of life in this great country, they have feelings too, and we should respect our enemy. Sounds kind of crazy to me. Now, the idea of substituting certain words or thoughts with others that are deemed to be more acceptable seems unstoppable. Or is it? Since our government officials are all in because they don't want to offend voters, it could be a tough battle to win. It will take those who see this for what it is to come together and refuse to accept the political correctness mess that we find ourselves in today. Now, another major problem in going against the political correctness movement is the risk of being labeled bigots, haters, and even racist. Has become a form of bullying to me, and it needs to end. Now, in the end, I guess my big question would be, why is it so bad for someone to get offended? I mean, seriously, haven't we all been offended from time to time? I know I have. And on those occasions when I was offended, what did I do? I got over it. It's never been a big deal to me to be offended. I guess maybe because when someone says or does something that I feel is offensive, well, I see it as being more their problem than it is my problem. So in conclusion, political correctness looks more like censorship than anything else. And if enough people don't start pushing back against this movement soon, there's going to be no turning back. Thank you.